Well, howdy there, folks. My name is Ethan George, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And today, I'm going to be teaching all y'all about the types of games I played along the Oregon Trail, alright? Because it was actually very, very boring along the whole entire trail, alright? Like, can you imagine walking 20 miles a day? Like, really, 20 miles a day. That's insane. And how could you just walk all day, honestly? Can you, like, how much more boring can you get than just walking? So what they decided to do was come up with a few games that were actually kind of clever, alright? So this first one I'm going to tell you about, it's kind of like I'll describe them along the way as I go. But this first one, it was kind of a stick, okay, just imagine a stick with a piece of string wrapped around the end. Let's see if I can exemplify with this. So imagine this is like a little stick, this little pencil here. Wrap a string around this, is what they would do. And then they'd put a little ring down here, like a wooden ring, you know what I mean? Tie it to it, and then they would go and swing it up and try and catch it with the ring onto it like this. So it'd look like this after you were all done. So it'd be hanging, then you'd swing it and try and catch it on this thing. Okay, so that was one of the games. I've actually tried a couple of these, and they are very hard to do. But once you get a hang of it, then you can actually play it, and it's actually really fun to do. Another one that they actually played. All right, so just imagine like a little paddle type deal with a bucket. All right, like a wooden bucket. All right. Then they would drill a hole. Well, definitely wouldn't drill, you know what I mean? They'd get something in order to drill a little hole through the front. So imagine this is like a little paddle, right? I wish I had some of these, and then I could actually show you to you. And then they'd have like a little bucket right here. Okay, just imagine a little bucket. Then they'd drill a little hole. Why do I keep saying drill? Honestly. They would make some sort of hole, and then they would put the string through that. And then they would take a bead that was hung on a string as well. Then they'd flip it up and try and make it in the little bucket. So it was the same print concept, but it was just like a little bit different of a different make, you know what I mean? And how they'd make these is out of just straight wood. They would carve them out. They would take like willow branches, or they would take some apple branches, and then they'll just like hollow it out to make the bucket, and they'll just cement it on there with whatever they had, honestly. Oh, have you ever heard of, this is completely random, but have you ever heard of, like, a curling iron for them? It's really weird. So it had, like, man, I wish I had, like, pictures or something, but I can't figure out my computer right now. Sorry about that. But imagine, like, this little pencil as the top part of it. Imagine scissors, right? Imagine this as one of the ends. It was just, like, a perfect little circle. Little, circular tube, okay? And on the other one, it had, like, this little bend in it, so that when you clamped it, it'd go like this. And they pushed together. That was our curling iron. And it looked like scissors, and then you could just open and close it like that. But you'd heat it up in the fire, then you'd go like this and just go clamp and roll it, or however you guys do it. I honestly don't know. So that was our curling iron. Another game they played, it's kind of nasty if you actually think about it, but it was kind of smart. Because what they would do is, as long as like, when the cows actually die along the trail, the kids back behind would actually use that as a game. I don't know what they called it exactly, I can't remember. But what they would do is they would jump from cow to cow that was like bloated from it being dead for so long. So what they do is they would just jump from cow to cow, and whoever fell in one, because like it gets so big and so like disgusting and rotted that if they jumped on, then they just fall into the cow, and whoever fell in was out. And then you just keep going, and whoever the last one standing was the last one standing, and they won. They would also like to carve some sort of like little objects to play around with. Like they would carve dolls, or they would make dolls out of like rags, and they're called rag dolls. So you just kind of tie them in a certain way. I've done it before, but it takes a lot of time and effort. But if you tie it in just the right way, and you can make it look like a little doll, you can build like little dresses for them and stuff. It's really cool. So that was another one of their toys that they would play around with. They would also carve like just completely like little random like sticks or bows or something like that, and they would just play around with like things they could imagine, you know. And by the way, these are just for like the littler kids, because excuse me, but because like as you got older, once you hit the age of 12, as a boy, you were actually required to carry around a gun, yeah, at the age of 12, which is like that's like 4 or 5 years old younger than I am. But they would still be required to take around a gun, so that if they saw anything, and they could shoot it and use it for dinner, because there's not very many things that you can hunt and like, you know, get around there that was like you could specifically go out and like get, you know what I mean? So that's just for like little kids like below 12 that would just like not really have anything better to do. Then they would just kind of like make up these little toys that they'd play around with, and yeah. Be sure you guys like and subscribe. Alright, and we'll see you later.